Hi guys, welcome to month 1, day 2 of our 3-month Fit Body Challenge. We are going to be going over proper form for all of the moves in today's challenge. If you haven't joined already, head to the description below to get your promo code for 1 month free of the Fit Body app. That is where the challenge is at, and today is a core day. So all core ab exercises, proper form. All right, so let's get started. So move number 1 is jumping jacks. It's not exactly a core move in itself, but it is gonna help get your blood moving, get your heart rate pumping, and I feel like probably the majority of us know how to do a jumping jack, but just a little refresher if you want to know exactly what to focus on to be sure that you don't experience, for example, any knee pain in this move. So you start with your legs together. When you jump up, you come up to the top, and the really important thing is that you don't let your knees cave inward. So just always be sure that your knees are pointing forward, okay? A little bit faster, and that is pretty much it. You do want to just be sure that you're keeping your chest up, and then you're not letting your shoulders hunch over or your back roll over, and that those knees are not caving inward. All right, move number 2 is going to be a plank. So this is probably one of the most common and most important core moves because it's really easy to do it wrong. So to break it down, you're gonna go down on your mat. You're going to go onto your forearms, and you wanna be sure that your arm is not too far forward or too far back. It should be in a straight line. And then when you go down into the plank, don't have your booty too high up in the ground or your hips drooping under. Okay, so you need to have your hips, so my butt isn't tooched up. It's actually a little bit tucked under. Do you see that difference? Right now, it's a little bit up in the air, and now I'm just internally rotating my hips. I'm not actually raising or lowering my hips. It is just the position of my pelvis. So you actually want to have a little bit of internal rotation, okay? Then, the next thing I want you to look at is my shoulders. You actually want to be a little bit rounded, just a tiny, tiny bit. So you don't want to be sunken under like this, okay? You actually want to be a little bit braced, all right? Just like this. You can have your hands out here or clasped, whichever is more comfortable. And that's really about it. So the main things that you want to pay attention to is that your pelvis is tucked under so you get that core engagement, and that your shoulders are slightly rounded over and that they're not sunken under. As far as your foot placement, they can be together or apart. Let me show you the difference. So right now, I have them together, and here I have them apart. When they are apart, personally, I feel like it is a little bit easier. I have a little bit more balance, but really it's kind of a personal preference, so you can choose whichever one feels most comfortable to you. All right, that is it for the plank. Now we're gonna go to alternating side plank dips, and this one's gonna be a little bit similar, but there's something really important that you wanna keep in mind for this move. So I'll show you what it is. Okay, you want to start in a good plank position, and then you're going to rotate to the side, okay? Now this is a really great move, not only for your core, but for your obliques as well. But you really want to be sure that you're not engaging your lower back and twisting too much. You want your body to be in a straight line. So, for example, one thing that you don't want to do is just like twist right here and keep your upper body stable, and then twist here, because that's really putting a lot of pressure on my lower back. So you want your body to move in a line together like this. Okay, so allow your upper body to move as well. All right, in move number 4, you're gonna get back up off the ground, and this is another one that's gonna help get your heart rate up. So we're just gonna run in place. Again, I'm sure you guys know how to run in place, but just some things to keep in mind is that you wanna land softly, don't let those knees cave in, and keep that chest up. All right, move number 5 is going to be a walk down. So you're gonna start with your feet about shoulder width apart, and then you're gonna be walking down on your hands until you get to a high plank, and then walk back up. Now the really important things to keep in mind with this is that you're hinging your hips back. So you're not just, bending over and going down to the ground. You need to hinge your hips back, try to keep your knees straight. You don't need to lock them out completely, but it's not a squat either, okay? So hinge your hips back, bend over. If you need to bend your knees a little bit more, that's okay. Just try to minimize it and really engage your core here, okay? Use your core to support you. In that high plank, again, my butt isn't up in the air, I'm not drooped down, my pelvis is slightly turned inward, and I have a slight rounding in my shoulders. and then push yourself back up and really use that core. This might not seem like a core move, but if your core is engaged properly, it will. So just be sure that you're really, really engaging your core and your TBA, all right? So again, you're not rounding over, okay? You're not squatting down, okay? Go to a high plank. Be sure that your pelvis is tilted a little bit inward. Really touch your core if you need to, and then back up. All right, that is it for today's challenge. Head to the FitBody app to crush your workout, and I will see you guys tomorrow.